No, they all evaporated, actually. It was research, and I nosed them. I nosed them, but that did not involve drinking. It's just a little fluid in it. You know what, that evaporation just continues and the bottles are all empty. I think there's probably about 60. There's only a few really special bottles, actually. Most of them are just standard entry-level bottom, buy them at the LCBO or whatever liquor store you want. I think there's 147, but really correct me if I'm wrong, and that someone will correct me. But if you do, send me the ones I don't have, and I'll catch up. Those ones over there are probably more special, probably worth nothing these days. I don't know. That's Whamco, and you'd have to be a Toronto Blue Jay fan. Whamco is Devon White, Roberto Alomar, Paul Molitor, Joe Carter, and John Oldred, who were the top of the lineup for the Blue Jays in 1993, most of them in 92 as well. The first three, White, Alomar, and Molitor, were also the three top hitters in both of the major leagues in 93. And I don't think it had ever happened before that any team had the three best batters in baseball. Oysters, you gotta love them. It became an 8-part series on oceans, and I got a letter, and the letter said, how could you possibly make an 8-hour series on oceans and not once use the word oyster? And I said, wow. And the executive producer at the time had said to me, don't think about going anywhere near an ocean for at least another 5 years. And I said, what, why? And he said, 8 parts on oceans? No. I said, okay, oysters. This is a letter from a listener who says we should do a show on oysters. I couldn't pretend the oysters did not come from the ocean, because that's where oysters come from. I love them because it's like taking liquid life. And the question, I opened the show with it, do you chew or do you swallow? And that's the eternal dilemma of a real oyster lover. I actually chew a little bit, then I swallow. That's a photo of me running the Montreal Marathon, which I ran 4 times, I think. I was running it actually prepare for London, but that was the best marathon, my best time in that race. What time? Marathoners don't tell times? Yes, they do, actually. My best time, you want? 3:40 something. Yeah, no, not slow. And that's at middle of the pack. Proud to be right in the middle of the pack. And in fact, almost exactly the middle of the pack in many of the races. So, like if there were 40,000 runners, I'd be number 20,000. Goes back to Jarvis Street, so back before the Broadcast Center. And actually, I was at the time when the Broadcast Center was built. I was temporary host of a show, temporary fill-in host of a show for 1.5 years. Was Stereo Morning, and Stereo Morning was the last show to leave Jarvis Street to come to the Broadcast Center. So we were the last ones to move in, which actually meant that I was on Jarvis Street the day that officially the place closed, and we walked around and we took things like that as a souvenir. That was on the door of the studio that Ideas used to come out of from the beginning. So Studio D, which was the Ideas studio, which is sort of sacred to me in strange ways, was right beside another studio. I think it was called Studio C. We're sitting doing this interview, and there had been construction going on in what was the Morningside offices on this side. I'm sitting on this side. The author was there. Morningside offices were sort of right there. Construction going on, so there was sort of noise. Radio studio noise, huh? Well, doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're doing it. And suddenly, in the middle of the interview, through the wall comes a saw that long with teeth on the bottom of it and everything. It was like, ah! And she was just horrified. And I was a little surprised myself. I mean, strange things have happened in the radio building, but that one was pretty weird. And you know, it was a great radio building. You could open the windows there. You could walk the halls. Anyway, it was a lot of good radio.